started. Okay, like I said, if you go back to new here in your own file, here where we have file, go to click on new plus sign, click on more, and then click on Google Collaboratory. Once you click on it, you will see this. You see share the same folder, whatever question it asks you, click on create and share. So it's going to open up in a new folder like this, and once it opened up, so you can rename your folder by top left, where it will show you the name as untitled. You can see it up here. So all you just need to do, once it comes up here, you can just rename it, and you will have here as your code, the text, find, edit, view, insert, runtime, tools, and help. And then here you will have comment, share, and this is setting and connect. So this is what you'll be having here, and by this side I'll be exploring this more with us on how this part works, but for now we won't be using it until we get to that bridge, we cross it. So when you go here, you can just rename these things and type your name, like I'm going to write Pablo here, and automatically that is done. So if you go down to this folder, it is automatic saving. You can see here it is saving automatically. Very soon it will rename this thing to what I rename it here. You can see it here, so it will automatically come here, and then if I refresh this now, I should have that name I renamed it. So it is here. So anytime you want to work, you can work with this environment. So that's the same thing I want him to do, and I want everybody to do. So, and if you see here, what I do now is open for him, so you can continue your own coding here or whatever you need to do. So the first thing I want you to do is that, like I said, this is syntax, and if you want to print this like we talked about last time, you can just put print. I've actually defined the rules in syntax, and I've said the definition of syntax in our last meeting. So these have to follow a particular rules for it to work. Now anything you put here, in as much as you put print, is a built-in function in Python that is used to print out, like to see the output of whatever you have inside the parentheses, but it have a particular rules. The rules is that either it start with double quote and end with double quote, or it start with single quote and end in single quote, but it can never be single quote and end in double quote. No, except you have it inside. I'm going to talk about it as we progress, but what you need to do is anything you put in between this is going to be printed out, as you can see here. So even if you, as it stands here, as it is here, if you just put everything you need to put here, just put print and put open brackets, put single quote, and then you can type your name, whatever you want to type on it, like this. And once you run this, remember you have to connect here, and it is automatically saving, because if you connect, now it is connecting, and if you look down here, allocating, and if you look to the right here, it is showing yellow. Once it turns to green, that means you are good to go. So it is connected. Now if you see here, it is saving automatically. So as it is saving, it is synchronizing. Anybody who have access to this folder can see it. So once you click on this and run this, you can see this here, it shows cancel. So whatever I put here in that bracket and say cancel is coming and run this, is going to be wrong because it doesn't follow the rule of syntax. This is a syntax error, so it doesn't follow the rules of syntax. Why? Because double quote, no ending quote here. Now what if I put a single quote here? It is also going to be wrong because there is single quote and double quote. It is wrong, so it ought to be a double quote before it will be okay. So if I run this now, automatically it's going to say cancel is cooling but coming. So this is, each of this is a Python is an interpreter. It interprets line by line, it doesn't jump, so it is not a compiler. So as you run, it's going to follow the first line, second line, and third line, and it's going to, so you see the way I print. So I can also print something like print 5 plus 6 plus 6 and run this code, it is going to come here and do this mathematics and give me 12 here. This is a syntax. So if you follow these rules, before this will work. And in Python, I used to do quiz. Yes, I used to do quiz because I will set a question, and I will on one day will come to class and I will share the question in 30 minutes, and everybody will answer, and it will automatically mark you. So that will, because I want you to know one or two rules as pertaining to Python. So we will be doing something like that. That is why I want you to look at each of them. If you have any question you need to ask me, you ask me question at any point in time. But what we are doing now is syntax, and then what I'm doing now is just trying to let you understand what syntax can be, what are the rules to syntax, and what do you need to know about syntax. That is what I am just putting up for you. So this is just what it is. So as you see it, it automatically prints 6 plus 6 is equal to 12, and then because it follows the rules of syntax. So this is syntax, and that is the same thing that we have here. Whatever you put inside that bracket, put double quote and or single quote, it is going to work. So as you can see here, that is the principle, and that works automatically. So if you look here, you can see the same thing here. So on this code, what I want you to do is to look at it, and I'm going also to share the code on the chat, so you probably pick it up and then you practice with it. So I'm going to give the first example here on the chat, and if you have issues with the code, you can let me know. But for the meantime, this is the code and this is how it can work for you. So you look at it and you ask any question where you need to ask questions. So just know that syntax, and what we are doing now is that we are trying to have the rules for you to understand the rules of syntax. And like I said, the rule of syntax, I've actually shown you, it has to be either single quote or double quote, or depending on it, either is a strings or it is an integer. So as we go on, we'll be treating those things I mentioned like strings and an integer. Now if you look at the second code, this is the second code. Hello Sterling, hello, welcome, hello, welcome to our class. These are different these things. So if you run this, you can change this into whatever you want to change it to, and when you run it, it is going to work. You can see here, hello Lulu, hello, welcome, hello, welcome to our class. Now this respect the rule of syntax. If you look here, you see there is three things that make this thing different. The first one is the one that have double quote and it worked, there is no problem. The second one is the one that have double quote, but there is a space between print and the open bracket, which is the parenthesis. The third one is the one that have single quote and have comma inside. All of them obey the syntax rule, and it have to give us the right thing. It doesn't throw an error. So in this one also, I am going to copy the code and paste it along here, and you can also look at the code and see whether there is a problem you have in there or not. Now the third one here is the same thing as what we have there. This is single quote, so I will be deleting this line of code as it is not necessary for us. So this is how you can work with syntax. Now we go to indentation. I talked about indentation as the space between space you have in the code, like the space you have in front of that code, like whichever way you want to define it, but it is a space. It is always a space at the beginning of a code line. So if you look here, you will see that there is a space here, there is a space here, there is a space here. So this is example of indentation. And indentation, like I said, is refers to the space at the beginning of the line of code. So you can see here, this is the line of code, there is a space between them, and it is always a tab. On your keyboard, you press tab, you will get that space. Now how do we arrive here? Now what we arrive is that you will be talking about variable, but the simple thing, I just want you to ignore whatever you're seeing now. When we go to variable, which we have talked about last time, you will know more about it, and I'm going to tell you the rules of variable. So I am going to say that x is equal to 1000, for example, 100 for example, and I say if um, x is equal to let's say is equal to, which we know this sign as what we use in comparing. When it is double equal to, it is like comparing something. So let's say example that you are trying to say that today's date is let's say today's date is 20th. Today's date is 20th 02 2024. Now, if x is equal to 20th 02 2024, as you see here, then remember you put this semicolon here, that will automatically give you the indentation. Because of this, it automatically recognizes that it need to have indentation. So print, you say open bracket, this thing is like trying to make the to like make a statement. You can say this is this, so you can say print yes, whatever you put here will work. Yes, today's date is 20th of February. So you can say 20th of February 2024. So now, but that is if this is x, so I want you to put work on this and put the date like this. If not, look at this, there is. So and I now put s. I'm going to define all these things like what s means and rest of them. Once I put the semicolon and press enter, it also recognizes that it's supposed to be an indentation. Print it is not today's date. So now I want to ask question, will this code be correct or not?
No,
It will not be correct. Why?
because that is not what you asked it to print. I mean, what that is not what you coded in your variables.
Okay, that is not what I coded in my variable. What kind of what do you think that if I run this code is going to be correct or wrong? No, wrong.
It's not
The
correct.
last the this thing will not print because you did not put that, what do they call it, those comma on top.
That is great. That is the answer. There is no parenthesis. Like there is no double quote. So it is not going to work. So this is
Okay.
the error in this for now, as based on the level. This is the error inside here. So if you run this now, it is going to be correct, and it is going to give me that yes, today's date is 20th of February 2024. Is that okay? Did you understand the indentation now?
Okay.
Now what if I change this thing to, what if I change here, what if I change here to 23? What do you think the answer is going to be?
The answer will be no.
The answer is
The
going
answer
to be
will be
no. Think
it is
again.
not it is not today's date.
That is great. So this is what is going to show. It is not today's date. The reason is this. This sign here means that you are comparing what is here to here. So I am trying to say that x is equal to this. But I said if x is equal to this, then say that yes, it is today's date. But now you see now that x is not equal to this. So that is why he said s tell me that it is not today's date. So this is indentation. We will be talking about if statements and else statements later, but I wanted you to understand what we mean by indentation. Now the second code you see here is a code that in school we have level 100, level 200, level 300, level 400, and level 500, and that a classroom that is named A109, A107 belongs to uh, if you can enter A107 or you can enter A109, that A107 belongs to student of 500 level. So but any other person that come that says he's not in 500 level should go to A109. Now This is a simple code that you can put up, and if somebody say enter your level, this little code can actually be controlling what is happening. Example, now I am not going to put input function, but I want you to understand that you say that only people that can enter A107 is if you are in 500 level. Remember this? So if I run the code is simply I am in 500 level, you can enter 107, because this statement is true. I am in 500 level. But if I say that I am in 400 level, it will tell me go to A109. Do you see now? Now this is just like a simple code trying to, but what we are trying to let you know here is indentation. Do you have any issue here?
The issue we have precisely me is that we will need to know these signs.
Okay.
You understand?
The
If we
signs.
have this sign, yeah, we will now know when to apply it.
Okay, which of the signs don't you understand now? Let me clear you.
This double equal sign,
Okay.
then and a single equal sign.
Okay.
Then we also need to, and most of the other, where we need to apply this um, S,
Okay.
the
Yeah, for
semicolon,
now,
conditional statement.
yeah, for now we will get into that, because we'll be going to if state, we're going to statement. But what I just want you to know now is that I want you to imagine something. What I want you to imagine is focus on the code I sent to you now, and I'm going to copy the code and send to you. We will be talking about this, but this is a variable. You can see here, this is if statement, this is a print, this is else statement, and this is another print. So these signs we will be going to it, because we will be talking about variable in our next class. Now this is variable, we'll be talking on variable here. We'll be talking on in statement soon, but what I am trying to teach you is this thing here, indentation. Did you get?
Okay.
Yeah, what I'm trying to teach you now is indentation. You know, when you're in school, they will be coming up with a lot of things. You know, you ask yourself, why are they teaching 1 plus 1 when they can go ahead and teach you 1 plus 1 open bracket close bracket? But in those processes, just to build you up to understand a particular thing. So what I want you to focus on now is, I want you to focus on, because why I don't have to going back to it is that it is a mathematics that we do in our normal class. So we know what is equal to. Equal to means that Nulu is equal to sterling, means that they are the same thing. That equal to, I now say that x is equal to this, meaning that I am signing a value of x into the other one. I don't know whether you get what I'm trying to say. So we will be talking
Okay.
about that. But when you see double sign equal to, it means that you are trying to compare something, and that is the comparison you are going to do. Now what we are going to do now is that we are, from these two things we did, do you have any question here? Because the way I do my assignment is that I'm going to send the assignment to the WhatsApp group, and I will tell you what you are going to do, but I'm going to give you this code. You get? I'm going to copy this code and paste on the chat, and the assignment I'm going to give to you is the same thing based on what we did here. All I just need you to do is to understand that assignment. Now also, what I want to beg everybody and all of us is that if you are interested and you want to know more about this, spend at least one day revising what we are doing in remote sensing and GIS, and spend also 1 hour in a day in looking at this code. You will be far better than every other person if you keep on looking at how this code work. And another thing is, there's something Dr. Moka told us when I was in school. If you finish lecture, if you can take 20 minutes to look at what you learn, look at it. And if you have assignment, if you want to do this assignment now, you understand it better when you do this assignment now than when you do it after 5 days. So what I'm trying to say is that the practice is what will make you understand this more. So I am going to be sending code, and I'm going to send uh, that particular this in the class, in the chat WhatsApp group, and I want you to either do one or two things. And one of the assignment I gave last time was this assignment you are seeing here. This assignment you are seeing here. So I am going to treat the assignment now, and I am going to now use the assignment as a teaching, but you are going to do assignment relating to this. Now, one of the assignment we did was that we did an assignment with input function, and that input function is what we have here. You can see this is the assignment we did. I have not taught you the input, but I'm going to teach you now because you are going to do that input assignment. Now, one of the smartest things we are going to do is that we are going to use example of your phone. Now, your phone is example of what we are going to use as input function to treat indentation, Python indentation. Now, one of the things is this. I'm going to add a key here, a part here, cell here, and when I add it, I am going to name a something as a variable. Look at this. I'm going to type it my phone password. This is a variable. See the way it is. I'm going to say equal to my phone variable. You are not here with me, so you can't open my phone. So my phone password is 0803. Did you understand this? So you can copy it. You can copy it. The next time we meet, you can unlock my phone with it. But that's my phone password. So now I am going to write a simple statement to unlock my phone or not to unlock my phone. Now, what am I going to do? And I will say that if, example, if you say something like, this is my phone password, if my phone password is equal to this, whichever anything anybody entered, if it equal to it, unlock. If not, re-enter again. So what I'm going to do for input function, just note this, we are going to use input, and the input is going only to be integer today. Integer is number that started with 0 to 9. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are integers. So any number you enter there doesn't matter. But in as much as between 0 to 9, they are integers. So what it means is that I am going to say that this is, I have declared a variable which is my phone password here. Now what I'm going to do is that I am going to have an input function, and that input function is that which is my phone password. I am going to type that my phone password again. So by typing my phone password, now to make this thing fast, I can run this and it will tell me error. So I am going to do my phone password, so that because I want it to pick this thing, I don't want to spend time typing it. I want to say my phone password is equal to, and I'm using input function. Remember, it is going to be an integer. So it is going to collect an int, open bracket, input. This is input. Input is an inbuilt function. I'm going to put input here, and I'm going to open another bracket again. Now, and I'm going to say enter your phone password. Now, this is the first statement I want you to understand. What did I first do? I declared a variable called my phone password as 0803. Now, I want to enter my phone password. Now, what do I want to do? I want to use input function to enter my phone password. Now, the first statement I give it is that this is my phone number, enter my phone password. So if I run this code now, it is going to run and it is going to tell me leading with 0. The reason is because this is a syntax error, because it ought not to start with 0. But next time I'm going to show you how we can overcome this. To avoid putting you in trouble, I'm going to remove the 0 and replace it with 1. Now if I run this code, it is going to collect agree with the input, and I'm going to enter whatever I'm going to enter and press enter. This is going to be okay. There is no error because there is no condition that I give to it. I didn't ask it anything, so it is going to run and it is going to display something correctly because I have not attached any condition to it. Did you understand? Like no condition attached, so that is why it run like this and bring me this here. Now The next thing is that I can modify my code to make it have a semicolon inside. As you see, you look at the way it is not showing any space here, so I can make it to have a little bit space like you see here, making it have a space. And if I run this code, it is going to ask me input. Now this is a way you can collect into get input. It is asking me enter your phone password. Whatever I put here is what is going to come here. You get whatever I put here, this is what is going to come here. And this is one of the reasons why we need to take it one by one. If you look here, you will realize that I did something here that collects email, and I did something here that I can access my phone, my system. Once I click on it, it is going to collect a data, like it is opening, and it is going to ask me to upload a file I want to upload. Now this is the function, like all those things you do in your system, and then it is opening somewhere for you. This is a code that can get those things done, and this is like what we are doing here is now trying to input, collect a data from you. So this, with this simple line, you can create this type of a thing you will see here. Now this is the rules. The rules is that I put integer here. What if I type G here and press enter, or K, or I type number that is not integer? What will happen? It's going to throw an error because this is not an integer. What I entered, this is a value error. What I entered there is a strings, but what I said it should collect is an integer. By that rules, it is throwing an error because the invalid lateral for integer with base 10. This is not an integer. It is a strings. So a strings is any letter from zero, from A to Z, either big or capital letter. These are strings. But now what I put here was a string instead of integer. So if I run the code again, it's going to come, and once I put the integer that I'm supposed to put, it is not going to throw an error. So we are doing a simple programming that will collect, open our phone. Now I've entered this and this is correct. Now to continue with what I need to do, I need to do something. What do I need to do? I need to let this thing know, because I have declared it as a variable. If I put a double quote here and press enter, what will happen? What will happen is that it is not going to give me an indentation, because this does not supposed to have, it is not a, I'm not declaring anything, so it won't give me that. So what am I supposed to do? This is where that's supposed to have that I put, because this have parenthesis here. You see up where this is having parenthesis up here. So if you put this, and press enter, it is automatically going to notice. So look at what happened here. This is not working here, and it is not working here. Why? Because I am not doing the right thing. So I have declared this is one that will collect my password. Then what I need to do is that I can decide to store this thing here. This can come up like this. You move this thing up or you move it down. The arrangement does not matter. Like this is what I mean. I'm moving this thing here to store it up here. It doesn't matter. Or I'm moving it down here to store it up here. It doesn't matter. What matters is, did you do the right thing? Now, what is the right thing? We are using input, so we don't know the number. But what we need to do is that the first time you're setting up your password on your phone, you need to tell your phone, this is the password I want to use to set it up. This is what we did here. Now I am setting this password up to this. So what you are going to do is, let me show a different method. If you now cut this and put it above here, paste it here, and bring this one down, you have stored the data in your phone first. The next thing is give me the password. Now if
Please, I have a question,
ask
sorry.
your question.
The thing is that I tried this your code, but I used my phone number equal to my phone number. When I now typed print integer input, it's telling me error.
You type what? Tell me what you type.
I typed print integer open bracket input open bracket enter your phone number.
Like this.
Yes, yes, yes.
Print what?
Print integer open bracket input, then open bracket um put the quotation mark, then enter your phone number.
Okay. Alright, this is not going to work. Do you get? You are saying that you should
uh,
print input. You are saying print out something. You are still asking for input. You are still asking for integer and asking to enter phone number. It's not going to work. Is that okay?
yes, yes,
So
yes.
if you run these things now, you are going to have an error even from number one, invalid syntax from here. Do you get?
Yes.
So this is that is wrong. I'm going to tell you more about it. What you're supposed to do here is to have something like this, and when you store it the way we store, then you have that because we are not storing. Remember, I am using input function. I look at this. Just get this. Here I store. I declare A is this. Do you get? But
Yes.
now this code I am going to do the same thing. I am going to put this same thing you see here in another way. Now look at what I mean. To get to clear understand this, this is what I mean. No, let me continue. If you get to understand this, look at this. This is what I did here. So what I need to do now is to go and say a statement which I say if my phone number that I am putting now is equal to whatever I put up here, like you see here, the number I am putting, I say that A is equal to this. So what I need to do is that I need to remove this off completely. I have declared that my phone number is this, so I need to remove this thing up completely. Sorry, I need to remove this completely, as you can see. And I am now saying that if my phone number is equal to, I am storing the data. If my phone number, whichever thing anybody is going to put, is equal to 19 1960 or whatever you want to put here, or let me just put 1960 here. Now this is it. What I need to put is to put the semicolon and press enter. It will take the indentation. Then I will say print, use built-in function to tell the person print you can proceed. Now if it is anything anybody put that is equal to 1960, tell the person you welcome. You can put it any all those things. Welcome, you can proceed. Whatever you want, put it here. Welcome, you can proceed. But if it is not that, remember, if statement, if it is not that, else, if it is not that 1960, print then remember the syntax rule. You entered wrong password. Now look at this. No, look. This is what you want it to work on. Now, anything that anybody puts in your phone that does not match with your phone number cannot unlock. So what it means that if you pick up my phone, it will ask you enter the password, and I enter 2000 and press enter. It will tell me to enter the wrong password because I didn't get exactly this number. If I enter again, even if I like, I should enter a number to 500,000, no problem. Anytime you enter, it will keep on telling me you enter the wrong password. It will never happen until I enter 1960, which is the right password, and it will say when I enter 1960 welcome, you can proceed. Did you understand the scenario I'm trying to talk about now?
Yes, yes, yes. I get it. Thank you.
Yeah, so this is a conditions which you make, and when you run it, it will be able to give you that kind of this thing, like give you the argument. Whatever you put it there is going to produce an answer for you, or give you an input output. If you don't have that output, it is not going to work. Is that okay? Do we have any question on this? Is it confusing us?
Me, I can't really say for now. I just joined the class, but however, I'll play back the video and know so.
All right, thank you. Do anybody else have issue with what I explained now?
Now, sorry. But let me see that your code again.
Okay.
That one that is having input.
Okay.
Shebi you just type input equal to no, my phone password equal to integer. Why is my own now still giving me error?
Yeah, it happens. You know, sometimes when you're trying to code, you're seeing this thing, I see it well, but why is it not working? That is the that's the whole thing. You need to what is the error. We'll be talking about error, and we'll be treating it gradually.
This the error message is I needing zero in decimal integer. Okay,
Yeah, I
I should
said
put one up,
now, for now, we are going to be treating, because you're using zero, so we'll be treating that in the later, how to you can use those, all of them.
but I can use one now.
Yes, if you want to, use zero now for this stage, you can do it like this. Do you see this?
Okay,
Then
make it a string up.
you change this thing to just be something like this. Then you enter something like this, and I'm going to type this. Then it's going this. You enter the wrong password. Then if you go again and put that 0960 and press enter, it tell you you can proceed. The reason is
Okay.
this: it is now a string, not an integer. I don't want us to rush it to it, because I want you to understand what I'm talking about for now. Is that okay?
Okay, sir.
All right. So, do you have any question on this, on indentation for now? Remember, I said indentation is a space that is always in front of line of code, like this. So what we did here is that each and every one of us have a phone, and you have a password, and you have given your phone a password, and you want your phone to act like anybody who tried to enter the password that you didn't put. Tell the person you entered the wrong password. Whatever you want put here can enter. You can even copy a note here. You enter the wrong password. Bro. Keep trying until Jesus come. Whatever you want, put it here. It is you. Whatever you want to design, that's the same way it is. So if you run it, and then the person now put up here, put the password he want here, and press enter, it will say you enter the wrong password, bro. Keep trying until Jesus come. You run again, you enter the wrong one again, it will still tell you the same thing. You enter the wrong password, bro. Keep trying until Jesus come. Then until you write the right password, which is 1960, it will not allow. Now it will tell you welcome, you can proceed, maybe by unlocking your phone or bank or your ATM, sort of things like that. So this is what you are going to do. This is what you are going to have, and this is the similar assignment I'm going to give you. You are going to do this type of a thing and run it, and then be able to now tell me this is what it is. I'm not going to talk about this, but I think I should talk about it anyway. because this is like a defining a function to tell you number divisible by 2, but I think we will be having an issue on it. Nevertheless, I will jump this for now, and then I'm going to come back to this. Down here is what I'm going to come down to. Now here, like I said, we use single quote and we use double quote, which is exactly what we did in the first line here. So you look at this code and then look at it again and see what is here and able to relate with this. So I'm just going to copy the code and I'm going to paste it on the chart for you, so you look at it and then see whether there is any issue you have. But it's just what we did. The only thing is that I did here was that this is using double quote, and in double quote I use the double quote, double quote I use the double quote, on the single quote I use single quote and change in capital and small letter. It doesn't matter how you put it, but let it follow the rules of syntax. Now here, what I did here was that I now printed direct to do plus, sign, division and addition. This is what I did here, and then this is the result it gives you here. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. What I needed you to do is make this code work. So this is part of the assignment I'm going to give you. Look at this code. If you have issue with what I just pasted now, you let me know, because I'm going to ask you question. Simple this. It is as simple as this. I just go straight to print something. You want to add a number or minus a number, you just call it, because it is an integer, it is going to do the mathematics for you. So this is what is going to be. Hello, please let me call you back. I am in section. Thank you. So this is what is going to be, and this is just a number. Print, once you put print in front of it, you can run it and it will automatically work on what you need to work on it. So this is part of the place we are going to be talking about more, but if you have any question, you ask me, because I'm going to ask you something like looks like this. I've talked about it earlier, just for you to understand that if you put 20 plus something, it's going to do addition for you. Like you see here, if I run this code, 20 plus 10 will give you 30, 20 plus minus 10 will give you 10, and then 20 over 10 will give you 2, and then 20 multiplied by 10 will give you 200. This is what you are going to do on this one. Now the next thing we are going to talk about today is a comment. Like I said, this is a comment. A comment, like I said, it is used, number one, to explain what your code is. That's the first thing. You use comment to explain what your code is. The second thing you use comment to do is that you use comment to now give stop code from running. One of the example of it is this. This is adding two numbers. This is a comment. I use the comment to explain what happens here. It seems I lost my internet. Am I still with us?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't know why my canal is starting back, but okay. So if you look at this, I just use the comment to explain what is here, what I did here, and what I did here. It is necessary to use comment because that is the only way person is going to understand what you are writing. This is one of the example of what I'm saying. If you look at this code, if I just give you this code like this, as you see it here, you won't be able to understand what it's trying to say. But by looking at this, I explained to you that this is important. I said the function to convert L to UTM, and this is a function I created to do UTM. And if you look at this, I use it to calculate the UTM zone. Here, I now tell you that this is a function to add UTM to station data. You will now know what I'm trying to say. Now, I use here to say this is a station data. If I remove this thing I commented here and send you this code, you won't be able to understand it. Even if you see it on the GitHub, you might not know what I'm trying to do. But by reading that I add in the station data, you know, oh, I've declared station data. This is a station data I have declared, and I'm now trying to add it to make it UTM, extracting the longitude and latitude. And these things you see here, I explain each of the code, what they does, calculating UTM for new station. Then now I created it. You see the way I am putting it, each of them with this is adjustment for geographic, this is adjustment for UTM, this is printing it in PDF. So with these things you are seeing, you can follow my code and able to understand what I'm trying to say, so that when you see it, you will be able to use the code anywhere to do whatever you want to do, because I give an understanding of each of these line on what they are doing. But if I just remove this comment and leave this code like this, you will just come here to be understanding what I did. You won't understand what I'm doing. So this is very, very necessary. You put a comment, and you as a programmer, you need to develop that comment, that habit of adding a comment to your code, because it will help you understand what you're doing and have more explanation. I've talked about it that the comment can come in three ways. Number one way is by putting it in front here. I put it at the beginning of the line, and in Python, once you put hash in front of anything you write, the rest of whatever is there become a comment. Example, the first line, this is the line as you see here. The second way you can do it is that I can decide to remove this thing, cut it, and put it at the end of this place. It become a comment automatically. Now look at this. This is where it is. If I type something here, let me say type 1, and I run this code, it's going to fail because I have an error here. But once I put an hash, which is shift 3 in front of it, I will run the code. It will consider it as a comment. There will be no problem. So this is a comment, and it does. Now if I want to stop, I see this, since I don't want this last one to run, I will just go in front of it and I will stop it by putting hash in front of it, and it will only give me 3 results as you see here. Now I'm going to press Ctrl Z to return. If I want to comment all of them not to run, I have commented all of them here, and it is not going to give me any single result because there is not, I have commented all of them. So the same thing I did, and then here, and I return it back, I uncomment it, and it can give me the result. So this is ways you can comment, and comment is used to either explain your code or to stop code from running. And there are different ways you can comment. One of the way you can comment is by putting hash in front of it, by putting at the back of it, or by putting triple quote in front of a code and the end of the code, like this. And with this, I have stopped this code from running completely because I put this in front of it and back of it. So this is another way you can stop a code from running. This is another way of commenting. I'm going to talk about it more a bit because we can also use this to print a box of letters, but we are going to stop here for now until we start going deep. So you use a comment to stop your code from working, and this is what we did here. So we still have time. So the next thing we are going to talk about today is variable. I've been talking about variable, and we are going to talk about it finally today in extensive, though we have talked about it before, but we are going to talk about it now. So a variable is actually used, you use variable to assign a value into it. How do I mean? Anything you assign, automatically it becomes a variable. Once you assign a value, a particular distance to, you have a key. Once you assign it to it, automatically become a variable. Now it have a particular rules. These are rules we are going to be following. Now the rules have to be according to what it is. If not, it's not going to work. So what am I saying? A variable, you use variable in assigning value. When you assign value to a data, automatically it becomes a variable. When you assign it, whatever you assign to it, it automatically makes it a variable. You can assign a strings to it, you can assign a float to it, and you can also assign an integer to it. So a variable, you use variable in storing data. So a simply definition of variable is simply a container for storing data. You use it like a container to store data. So any data is stored inside of it stays in there. So that is the meaning of variable. Do we have any issue with that? No question? Are we still together?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So
Sorry.
yeah, since we don't have questions, I am going to explain this code you see here, and then I am going to assign variable to it, and I want you to look carefully here. Now, the first thing I did that is that I assigned A to University of Nigeria Enugu campus. So it means that from now henceforth, anytime I call A, it means that I mean University of Nigeria Enugu campus. I assigned A as University of Nigeria Enugu campus. So it means that anytime I mention A, it will call back to University of Nigeria Enugu campus. Then I assign B as Kinsley. I assign C as Sterling. I assign E as Soviape. I assign F as Jessica. Then I say that G is input your name, and then D is geoinformatics and surveying. Then I say print G studies D at A. These are different ways you can store a data. This is a container used in storing data. So what do I mean? This is what I mean. Now let me start. I want to assign X. X is Blake. Y is equal to Collins. Now, if I say X plus Y and I run this code, it means that I am going to gap an error because this is Collins, sorry, because I didn't put Collins in within this thing is going to fail. So if I run this, I'm going to have Blake Collins because I added A, X and Y. I've said that X is equal to Blake, Y is equal to Collins. So if I say X plus Y is going to be Blake Collins. Now, why? Because I assign a value to this and I assign this to this. So automatically it notices that this is what I mean here. Now, I will continue with assigning the value. Then I will say that C is equals, I will say something like, I can use it to make my say is a surveyor. Now, if I want to write, if I don't have time to say something, I can decide to say that print open bracket. Now, I have assigned X to Blake. Do you get? And I will say X comma C. Then if I run this code, as you see here, it is going to be that Blake is a surveyor because I assign X to Blake and I see C is a surveyor. So if I want to print Blake, I will simply say Blake is a surveyor. That is print X and Y because of a variable. A variable is a container used in storing data. So once I assign a value to it, it automatically becomes that. So what I did was Blake Collins and is a surveyor. So automatically this is going to come up here. Now, assuming that I put all our names here or I put something here, but let me give you an example of what I'm trying to say, please. I want to say S or print, then I will now say here, and I'm going to put D, and I'm going to say is a programmer. Now this is a programmer. Now it means that D is a programmer. So if I say input your name, now name, let me put a capital letter, is equal to, now remember what I explained earlier, that it is going to be a strings and is going to be input, is a built-in function that you use to collect data. So I'm going to say input and I will say enter your name. Now when I say enter your name, and I will close it up with semicolon. Now what am I trying to say? I can store a data now inside here. Remember what we did here: if and if and if. Now if this is equal to this, you can say something like this: if name now is equal to, I am going to something different. I'm going to say Collins. No, this is going to, we are not going to here until we get to the list. What I wanted to say is, what I wanted to do now is that I want to put all your name inside here and assign that Blake. Anytime you put Blake, it should come out with Blake is a programmer or Collins is a surveyor, whichever way. But this is not the right time for us to talk about it, so I'm going to step back and continue with what I want to do now normally, so that we won't have that issue. Let's start with basic, please. So I've said input your name. Now when I input name, which is name, so I can decide to say that name, comma, remember I've assigned C to this, so it will be name comma C. So whatever I put should say name comma C. So if I put run, it means that I'm going to, what is your name, and I say Kinsley. Because I say it is going to be KSP, Kinsley is a surveyor. Whatever I put here gives me an output. Now this is how I can assign variable. So whatever I put here gives me an output. So this is Blake is a surveyor. Whichever name you put here, this is in taking names in. This is how you can collect names. That's the same thing I did here. I put in names of people, that is A, B, C, D to whatever it is, and I want it to print a particular thing. So if I run this code, it's going to pick up a code and say enter your name, and I will say cancel because I'm using input function. It is going to be like Kinsley studied geoinformatics and surveying at University of Nigeria Enugu campus. Now how did he frame this? Because I used G, studied D at this A, which is G is input name. Any value I put here automatically assume G. Studied is constant. Geoinformatics and surveying is what? D. You can see that D here is, where is D? Is geoinformatics and surveying here, and A is equal to University of Nigeria Enugu campus. If I uncomment this and run the same code again, you see here, and I put my name again, press enter, it is going to bring me the first one, which is Kinsley studied geoinformatics and surveying at University of Nigeria. Sterling geoinformatics and surveying at University of Nigeria Enugu campus. This is how you can assign variable. So you make a variable and then assign it to it like this. Do you have any question? Is there any question?
No question from me.
So that means we are good when it comes for this.
Yes, I'm good.
Okay, you are good.
Yes.
All right. We have a short time, and we are going to. We have short time, and we are going to be talking about. Okay, we still have a time because we started like 20 minutes late, but I'm not going to keep you long anyway. Yeah, I'm not going to keep you long. And all right, now what I want us to talk about now is type, and that is what we are going to talk about. All right, we're going to talk about type in Python. Now what do I mean by type? The type of data we have. Like I said, I've been talking about strings, talking about integer, I'll be talking about float. There are different other types of data we have in Python, and one of the type of data we have is this. This is a strings. Whatever you put in double quote or single quote automatically become a strings. This is a string. This is a string. This is a string. This is an integer. So we already know this. So if you look here, this is a strings, this is an integer, this is a float, this is a boolean, this is a string, this is a dictionary. So do you have any question you need to ask on what I explained now?
Yes, there is question. I don't know.
Go ahead.
Probably you explained it why the class, why they started the class. I
Okay,
didn't start the
go
class.
ahead.
You are
I think I lost you or you lost me. Which of them?
saying to jot down something.
Okay, you said what? Go ahead.
I don't know. Probably I know. I didn't join the class when the class started.
Okay,
Probably you might have explained all these things then.
okay.
Okay, you are saying strange. I don't know strange. Like, can you spell the strange so that I can easily jot down something?
Okay, sorry about that. My tongue is not working. Okay, yeah. Do anybody else have question?
Okay.
Do we have any question?
No, sir.
So that means if I give us assignment now, we can do it.
I can.
By the grace of God.
Ah, okay. Oh. This is example of what it means. This is a string, this is an integer, and this is a float. Now we have different other types of data here, and what I want you to understand is that anytime I mention strings, anything that is inside here become a strings. And how do you know a particular data, whatever it is? You can just say type of that data. Like look at here, I'm going to comment this particular code, and if you look here, if I say type a open bracket a and run the code, it is going to bring me the type of data. You can see str, sorry, automatically makes it a string. Now if I change this place and put b inside of it, because no, sorry, I put a inside of it. This is a, this is a, and this is a. So let me go to a new this and explain what I'm saying. I put that a is equal to 5, and then I say type 5 open bracket 5 type a, sorry, and I run the code. Is going to be an integer, int. If I change the 5 and put 0.6 and I run the code again, 0.506 is going to be an integer. If I put this kind of code and run it again, it is still going to be an integer. But once I put dot 1, it's going to be a float. Then once I put everything here and put a double quote or single quote on it and run it, it is going to be a string. Is that okay?
Yes, it's okay by me.
Now, and once I change these things and put it true, what is it going to be? Okay, we left school long ago. It's going to be a boolean. That is either boolean, that is either true or false, because is the type of data we have first. We'll be talking about it in GIS soon, so that we'll not get confused here, but it's going to be bool. And if you have this type of data, which we are going to be talking more about, let's take for example, you have this and you have here as female, and then double quote, shift dot, and double quote again, and type nulu. This type of data is going to be a dictionary. We are going to be talking about it. And then if you leave there and put a data that looks like this, which is a is equal to let's say 3, and run this type of data, you're going to have a data that looks like a list. And if you want to see tuple, we're going to be talking about tuple, and then you need to change this thing. We're going to talk about set tuple and rest of them, and it's going to be a top, that is boolean, that is here is either true or false. But if you change this, you're going to have a tuple. So these are different types of data we have. So how do you know the data? Nulu. Nulu.
Okay, it's noted.
Nulu.
Like it's okay.
Hello.
How do you know the type of data you have?
Okay. If it's an if it's an integer, I don't need to put the quotation mark.
Mm-hmm.
I can just put a equal to 3. But if it's a string, I have to either put the double quote or single quotes. Then if it's also boolean, or is boolean they call it now, true or false, I don't have to put quotation mark.
Programmer Nulu. How do I know the type of data check is?
Check is an integer. You did not. It's number. Oh no, it's not an integer. It's float, or it's float now. It's float because it has decimal number.
Programmer Nulu. If I want to
Uh-uh.
know the type
Am
of
I
data
correct?
check is, what should I do?
Ewo. If I want to know the kind of data check is, I will. It's obvious now. It's float. It's double precision.
Nulu, it is not obvious. If you
I
want to
think
know
it's type
the type of data, just
check.
use a check, a type U-tune function.
Oh, sorry.
Programmer Nulu.
No, 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 sir. Don't. That name is too heavy.
What is this type of data?
It's string. I will type check. It's string.
This one is string.
Yes.
Okay. So why I'm saying this is that this is how you can know the type of data you have by using what we call type. By just
Okay.
typing type, that's what I want you to answer. By using type, you will know the type of data, because there are different other type of data that you don't know. There are many of them. So we are just going to talk about it. So this is the way. By using type, you should be able to know the type of data that you have there. Is that okay?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so next class we are going to talk about um, how you can how you can assign multiple variable in, like what you are seeing here, how you can assign multiple value into a variable. But what I just want you to know is that for then another thing we're going to talk about is how you can convert a data into a strings or into an integer. What I mean is putting a string. So but where we stop today is here on type, how you know the type of data you have. So that's what we are going to do. And then the last thing I'm going to do now before I leave you in 2 minutes is that I'm just going to use my mouth to explain to you the rules of variable. Now, the rules of variable I'm just going to explain is this. In variable, when you are assigning a variable does not start with number. A variable must not start with number. Is that okay? You don't say a variable is 2 equal to a. This is wrong. Let me say you say print 2. This is not a variable. A variable does not have to start with number. Did you get that? That is the first rule.
Yes.
Just get this: when you are defining a variable, it should not start with a number. Now, another thing you should also understand is that a variable is case sensitive. What do I mean by case sensitive? Name,
Capital letter or small letter?
yes, name is equal to 6 and name is equal to 3, and then name is equal to 12. These things you see here is not the same thing. Is that okay?
Okay.
It is case sensitive. This is name. If I run the first one, this is what is going to print: 6. This is another name. If I run run it again, it's going to print 3 for me. Then if I put all of them in big letter, like you can see, it is going to give me 15. So variable is case sensitive. Is that okay?
Yes,
So that
noted.
is what I want you to know. Then I have said that variable cannot start with a number. And then another thing is that variable can start with underscore. Example, underscore name. If you run this, underscore name, underscore underscore is what it accepts, not plus sign. If I run this and then I didn't declare it, so it's not going to appear. So I'm going to replace it with underscore, and that is not going to throw error because it is underscore. So that is another rules you need to understand. Then another rules is that a variable can contain underscore, like I said, and it also can start from A to Z. That is what you need to know. It can start from A to Z. Then secondly, you can add a number to your variable. This is what I mean by adding a number. Let me say, I say open bracket print name 1. This is correct. If I add name 1 here and then remove this and put name and run it, it should be able to be okay. In as much as you put this here is okay, you can put underscore here on it. This is wrong. You are not going to have this because this is wrong. It's syntax error. So it's ought to be a hyphen here like this. It is also going to give you an error. It can only take underscore. This is just the rules of variable I want you to understand. And then I'm going to put here, and then you see it up here. This is the rules of variable I just want you to understand. So this is where I'm going to stop today, and then I think we have talked about, so I don't need to tell you their names because this one now you're seeing here, they are called Pascal case, we have snake case, we have camel case. You can just read more about variable, but this is what variable is all about. So this is what
Okay.
variable is all
Sorry,
about. Okay,
let me ask something.
go ahead.
Okay, on these variables
Yes,
being case sensitive,
yes,
the first name has N as a capital letter. The
yes,
second name, all of them are capital letter. Then the third name, all of them are capital letter.
yes.
Now, and each of them has a different type of numbers that you attach to it.
Okay,
Now, when you print, and they all, how about if it is name with the N capital letter and 6? Now, you say, why printing? You use big letters, still name. Won't it print 6?
Okay, like the first one is that I should use, let me use 15, this, right?
Mm.
And then
Then you delete the other names.
here, and
Yes,
then
remove the other names.
use name here and run this, right?
No, 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 no. Don't use the why printing. Don't use the big letter. Remove this other first name. Yes, that one.
When I'm using name equal to
Yes, 6.
like this, right?
Okay, yeah. Now, why printing? You use small letter name.
What do you think that will happen?
Won't it print? Won't it? Hmm. Why? I don't understand.
Yeah, the reason is that it stores the other three you use. So let us use
Okay,
something different.
okay.
Yes. Did you see it? You didn't
Name
define
error.
com because it is case sensitive.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, you noted.
So
Thank you.
if you now change this thing now to small com, it will pick it automatically like this. Sorry, I didn't put it right. If you put it like this, it should print black. So it is case sensitive.
Okay, it's noted now.
Yeah. Alright, so all these things you are doing, it is now you are gradually understanding, like even when you are interacting with your system or your phone, this is how they come about.